The cinema starts with a team of smoke jumpers sliding down into a raging forest fire. The team does their best to work through the fire and recover lives, but due to an incorrect wind reading, the team is surrounded as the flames spread irrepressibly, claiming several lives. Team leader Hannah Faber wakes up from this, as it was a nightmare, but one she already lived through. In Fort Lauderdale, hitman colleagues Jack and Patrick Blackwell enter the home of a district attorney under the appearance of being there to check the gas. After killing the man and his family, they rig the house to blow as they move on to their next targets. Hearing the news is Owen Casserly, and the DA was his boss. Owen gets his son Connor and heads out. Connor understands something is wrong when Owen doesn't take him to school, but Owen swears that he did the right thing despite looking scared. Hannah and her teammates are at a ceremony for new smoke jumpers, along with Sheriff Ethan Sawyer. After the ceremony, the team gathers for drinks before Hannah does a stunt off a truck involving a parachute. After getting enough speed, she opens it and floats away until she goes down a slight hill and is arrested by Ethan. He takes her far enough until he can let her go, and he considers that she is doing stunts like that for a more personal reason. The Blackwells go to the Casserly house to discover it empty. Jack finds Owen's laptop while Patrick goes through files to know where he may be headed. Ethan goes home to his pregnant wife Allison. They are contacted by Owen, who is his brother-in-law, and asks for Ethan's help in keeping him and Connor safe. Owen drives them to a motel for the night, where he writes down his personal secrets for Connor to give to the news and authorities, but to never read for himself. In Forest, Hannah talks to a colleague over the radio and states her guilt over the incident, as the fire not only killed some of her teammates but also 3 boys who were trapped in the middle of it all. Hannah considers that because she read the wind wrong, it's her fault that they are dead, but her colleague tries to assure her otherwise. She goes to the lookout tower where she works now. Lightning begins to strike the area. Hannah attempts to climb down just before the tower is hit, but she falls to the ground and is knocked unconscious. Owen and Connor continue moving, but the Blackwells corner them and shoot their car off the road. They crash down a hill, and Owen gives Connor his written papers before telling him to hide, and Greeks lead to rivers, rivers lead to towns, and reminding him he loves him. Connor hides as the Blackwells go down the hill. Owen races his engine to divert attention away from Connor, and the Blackwells shoot him off. A woman breaks by to survey the accident, but Jack shoots her in the head and moves her car off the road before he and Patrick head back out. They listen to the news that the only bodies found were Owen and the woman, but not Connor. Afterwards, Hannah sees Connor wandering alone in the forests. Although he is rude and attempts to fight her off, she tells him that the nearest town is too far for him to go off on his own, so he be with her for help. She takes him up to the tower until they figure out who to contact. The Blackwells report to their hire, Arthur Phillip. He knows that Connor is still alive, and is aware that this means he can still bring the evidence against them to the press, so he missions Jack and Patrick to find the boy and kill him. The Blackwells make it to the Sawyer home and pose as FBI agents. In order to trap him out, Jack takes several road flares and tosses them into the forests to start a fire. Ethan spots the smoke in the distance as it begins to spread. Connor trusts Hannah and gives his father's papers. She reads and returns it to him. The Blackwells go to Ethan's house. Allison recognizes something is wrong and tries to keep them out, but they rush in and attack her. Patrick threatens her with a hot fire poker unless she tells them anything she can about getting closer to finding Connor. Allison lies and says that Ethan has Connor, so she calls him and plays to ask about him, but Patrick knows that she tried to use a code word with Ethan and tries to shoot. She takes a spray can and uses the fire in the fireplace as a flamethrower to get the Blackwells away from her. She escapes the house with a rifle. Ethan later finds the Blackwells at his house and exchanges fire with them, but the Blackwells overpower him and take him captive. Hannah guides Connor through the field at night when lightning starts to strike again. They start running, but Hannah is lightly hit before managing to get herself back up. They stop to rest and light a campfire, where Hannah talks about the incident to him. Connor also mentions how he watched his mom die from cancer, so he knows how she feels about watching people die. They soon come across the fire and have to take a different path to safety. They make their way back to the tower. The Blackwells try to force Ethan to help them track Connor, but he defies them and fights them, only to be overpowered again. They take him at gunpoint in the direction of the tower, where Hannah and Connor spot them coming. Connor identifies the Blackwells as his dad's killers. They refer Ethan up to the tower to find Connor, but he and Hannah are hidden. When Patrick sees Ethan talking, they open fire on the tower. Ethan is hit, but he helps Hannah and Connor get out safely. Jack and Patrick split up, with Jack coming across Allison again. They shoot at each other, but Allison succeeds in hitting Jack. She approaches him to finish him with a shot to the head. She then goes to be with Ethan up in the tower. The fire is now raging out of control and leaves Hannah and Connor with little escape options. As she is telling him what to do to get to safety, they are found by Patrick. Connor hides while Hannah efforts to fight Patrick, but he twitches, beating her down. Connor comes out so that Patrick will stop hurt Hannah, but as Patrick approaches the boy, Hannah swings at him with a pickaxe and wounds him severely enough to bring him down. The fires grow wilder, and Hannah leaves Patrick to burn to death while she and Connor run down a hill and into the river to avoid being burned by the fire. In the next morning, the fire has gone off, leaving most of the forest burnt badly. Ethan has died by his wounds, but some of the other smoke jumpers recover Hannah, Connor, and Allison. News team and medical team arrive on the spot. Connor tells Hannah that he has nowhere to go, but she promises to help him figure it out. She takes him to the team, where he will expose Arthur, and the smoke jumpers do what they can to recover the forest. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe our channel, like, share and hit comments.